Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Couldn't we all use just a little more wisdom? Well, I've got two wise women with me today, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Dr. Alice Benton. Hi, guys.
Hey, Steve.
I was just...
You're not too shabby yourself
Yes,
in the
that's
wisdom
very
area.
true.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that. No, I'm kidding.
I was just reading Proverbs this morning because I want wisdom. Oh,
Yeah, I
my
love
goodness,
Proverbs.
I want God's wisdom. That's a good way to get some.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My wife and I are writing Bible devotions for every day of the year. She's doing the 1-year Bible for women. I'm doing the 1-year Bible for men. And so we are saturated in God's Word. And I just feel more wise every day, just focusing so much on the truth, because we have to write a devotional for, the Old Testament, New Testament. There's a Psalm and a Proverb every day. And it is fascinating how it helps you see things from a different perspective. Now, let's go right to the phones, because we have people on the line who have called us. And let's go to, how about we talk with Barb from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hi, Barb. How are you today?
I'm good. Enjoying the sunshine.
Good. Tell us about what's going on with you today.
Well, I have a question. We lost my son to suicide at the end of February this year. And
Oh, my goodness.
I just have a question. What is the difference between being sad and being angry because of the situation?
Well, tell us what you're going through and why you're wondering about it.
Well, just sad because he's my son. I lost my son, and because I guess I couldn't see the hurt in him, and kind of makes me angry that void was there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Even though
Well,
I was close to him,
What was so tragically painful for him?
For him, he had separated from his wife, and he has two children, 8 and 10, and I think the fact that he didn't see them like he did, and just struggling with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. That's very sad.
Never had that problem before.
Do you know what the source of the problem in the marriage was that they were dealing with?
There was just a lot of things which I don't want to get into, but
Usually,
he was just very depressed.
Usually when you feel like you're close to someone and then they take their life, you have no idea it's going to happen. So often there is something that is so shameful in their life that has happened, they couldn't share it with you. And it's kind of like there's nothing you can do to prevent the suicide. They are determined they cannot live with people knowing the secret. They can't live with themselves. And I don't know if that's true in his case or not, but usually I find that to be true of men who have kids and are married, and then that's what happens. So, of course, you feel responsible. You didn't prevent it and all, but there's a good chance you couldn't have done that. But I tell you, we're going through this process of grieving in our crisis chat. Sadness and anger, they're intertwined in the grief. We'll talk about it after this.
I was skeptical going into it.
Temptation is up, isolation is up. It's the very things that feed addiction.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
As they advertise, it really was a no-shame zone. I've now got a herd of men in my corner. That support system is huge.
During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, May 9th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop.
She saw the immediate change. By the end of the day yesterday, her and I had conversations, calm, respectful conversations. We've never been there.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and we are talking with Barb, and sadly lost her son to suicide, and asking about the grief and the anger aspects that are here. Jill, you want to get us started?
Well, Barb, our heart goes out to you because, man, this is just one of the hardest ways to lose a person that you love. And primarily, too, because it's so filled with mixed emotion as you're describing. There's the sadness because this is your son, you know, that you raised and who's a man and has his own family, and now he's gone. But then because perhaps of how it happened, the anger at him too, and the anger about the loss and his kids that are left behind with this legacy, that's hard. And just being a mom, having a kid, you know, harm themselves in that way almost feels like an assault on you as his parent, even though, you know, he's grown. So I don't know if that hits some of what you're feeling, but I think there's a continuum to our grief, and that it's not necessarily a straight line. It's emotions that we circle back around and back through, and that's part of coming to terms with it. And just even you calling now just to tell someone, this horrible thing happened to me and to my family and to my grandkids. And I'm struggling. This is just a couple months ago. So I think you have to give yourself a lot of grace in all that you're feeling and allow those feelings to wash over you and to be able to voice them to people. And it's okay to be really angry at him.
And they're both healthy, God-given emotions, depending on what we do with them, because we can misuse them. For instance, a lot of us get stuck in the anger and let it cover up the grief so that we don't have to go into the pain and the vulnerability of the grief. But that's an obstacle to the healing process of being able to lament the loss of your son. But just as much, we need to be able to be angry with God, with the wife, with whomever you feel the anger towards. You need to be able to express it with trusted peers, not necessarily directly to the wife, but to be able to express to a trusted peer how you're truly feeling. And that's the way to continue to walk through the emotions, and they then they lessen, that their power over us lessens over time as we talk through them.
Well, and the worst thing would be to not feel either anger or sadness, that acting like, okay, I'm over it, it's fine. We see that all the time because people, they don't want to have any kind of pain, and someone tells them, oh, you know, you ought to get over this sooner than later. But you're dealing with it, and it's not easy, and I'm glad that you are. I'm going to send you this 12-step and grief workbook with the Life Recovery Bible. I think that will help. We're on step 9 in the grieving process, the 12 steps of grieving, tonight in the chat. But I would just say this. The healthier the person that you can open up and talk to about all of these feelings, the healthier you will get. Because, you know, so when you have a strong, wise pastor, counselor, friend that can help you see the reality or see, where, oh gosh, that's a little bit of shame there over not stopping it, whatever, then really the sooner you can get this behind you. But feelings need to be felt, and they need to be expressed. Those two things. You feel it, you don't deny it, you express it. And when we feel the full depths of these emotions and express them and talk them through, then a year later, we're not feeling the same intensity. That's the gift of grief. It actually is a way of
Right. It's a way
from it.
through it, Steve. Like, I don't think we get over something like this. We get through it to a new normal.
And let your anger lead you to action and to protecting where you need to protect. Let your sadness lead you to comfort.
Yeah. I'm glad you called, and so I'll get that grief workbook to you and the Life Recovery Bible coming your way. Sheldon, how are you today? From Indianapolis, Indiana, WBRI is the station. Hi there. How is it going?
Oh, pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Thank you for taking.
Sure. What's going on?
Well, my mother passed away early, 63, and all of my youth, she would always tell me, I never knew who my real father was, and I had 4 stepfathers, and they were really terrible. And she always would say, well, when you get old enough, I'll tell you, more about it. But as I got older, she never told me. And so, I got to be 16, and she didn't tell me. 18, she didn't tell me. And so when I was an adult, I just started living life, and so she passed away at 63, and she never left me any letter or anything. And I always wondered who my father was.
That is so hard. She died without telling you. Oh, Sheldon.
Yeah.
How old were you when she died, Sheldon?
I was like 29. So she,
That's
I
pretty rough.
know there was some. Well, I know there was some pain and embarrassment there with the. I don't know if she just had the heart to share it with me. I don't know.
Well,
but you often wonder. Go ahead.
I think the person we were just talking to, in a different way, you have to go through the same thing. You have to grieve this loss. You have to grieve the loss of not knowing, grieve the loss of having a mom that would want you to know. I mean, it's a grieving process for you. And it's so sad, and there's just no other way to look at it. It's really, really sad. You had a right to know, but you don't have to be stuck on this with a big question mark. Grieving allows you to put an exclamation mark on. Okay, I dealt with that. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't dig this up. I lost it. She died before I could find out the information. And so you do your best to pick up where you are and move on with your life. Alice, Jill, what are you guys thinking here for Sheldon?
Sheldon, a thought I have is just how we all think that we have all the time in the world, right? And that we will get to things. And so we put off the uncomfortable. We put off things that maybe we have shame about. And, I don't know the reasons. Your mom perhaps was trying to protect you or protect herself, right?
Yeah, could be that.
It sounds like you had one parent, though, that loved you and was there in other ways for you. Since her passing, I'm wondering if this now has come to the forefront, and part of that being because she was your one parent. And now it can feel really difficult to be parentless, no matter what our age. That right. Sense of belonging and connection. On a practical level, I know some people have gone through DNA testing or the ancestry, route and have found parents. And some of those situations have turned out well and some have not. So if there's a curiosity, there are ways to perhaps search that, you can put out there. But at the same time, that doesn't circumvent the need to grieve and to see, okay, God, you didn't give me a biological father that I know, but who have you put in my life? Right? And what are my fantasies? Okay, go ahead.
No, the other part of it is that my sister is 8 years older than I am, and she's a half sister because, of course, we had different fathers. My mother was very had more poor choices in her life with men, and so she went out and found out she's a lot better, richer than I am. She's got more resources, so she actually went and found her father and did that DNA stuff. And, and was able to actually find her real father. Now, I don't know if I should carry this on or just let it go, because you're right. I think my mother did the best she could, but it still leaves a big hole in my heart. To not know who your real father was.
It does.
Well, I just wonder if your sister, though, might be able to help you a little bit from her work, what she discovered. Has she offered to do that at all?
Well, she shared some things with me, and she's asked me, if I want to pursue it, and I sometimes I do, and then sometimes I'm kind of ambivalent because, like the lady said, it might turn out good and then it might not. So
right, you be prepared for both. And at 29, your mother passed away at 29, so there were a number of years where you were an adult with her, and yet it sounds like neither one of you really pursued knowing. So I can appreciate that you've had your own ambivalence about it.
Yeah.
Like, would it really enhance your life?
So,
see, here's the other thing. I found my birth certificate just 5 years ago, and it said on there that when I was born, my name was Samuel Schrager. And when I was 5, it was amended by a man that she married, and my name is Sheldon.
Oh, boy.
And so, see, that just gives us all this other mystery. I got a name, but I don't know anything.
Sheldon, your mom was a broken woman, Sheldon. She was wounded and she was hurting. And she made a lot of choices that I think caused you great pain and confusion in your life. And Sheldon, my concern is that you might be putting all your hopes on your father, that if you find out who your father is, it will resolve and clear everything up. And I hope that before you go looking for him, you do the work to become complete and stable within yourself and your relationship with God and good, trustworthy people around you, so that you can go looking for your father, and whether or not it's a dream come true or you're disappointed, that you will be okay because you have a stable base to return to. And I'm afraid that right now you're putting too much on the hope of finding your father and having it all be cleared up.
Yeah, here, my hope for you would be that you would look for your dad a little bit. It wouldn't consume you. That it would, you'd spend some time here or there if things come up. Ask your sister, see what's possible, but that it would not be consuming. And then, at some point you'd say, okay, I don't need to go there, don't need to do that anymore. I think we're done with all of this. But I'm really glad that you called, and hope and pray that there's resolution here and that this doesn't impact your life forever. All of us have things we have to let go of. It's never easy to do. Grieving is part of that, and that's what we're going to be doing today, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, the 9th step of the 12 in dealing with the grief process. I hope you'll join me there on Facebook Live. All right, how about we go to, let's go to April. She's calling from Maryland. WAVA is the station. How you doing?
I'm doing well. God bless your last caller. My heart goes out to him. It really does. I'll be praying for him. I'm calling pertaining to myself and my mom. I am in my 60s. My mom is in her late 80s with all her faculties other than using a walker. And we've always had a special relationship. I was the only child. My mother left my father in the 50s. He was abusive. She was an only child, and her father worked away from home. And she's married a second time and had my brother, and then I have a older brother that they're not very close because she didn't raise him. But my mom and I, she didn't come to my weddings. It's just been a very hard relationship. I love my mother, and I can honestly tell you sometimes I just don't like her. I call her, my daughter and I call her together. She lives nearby, and my heart is sad because she lives in independent living. We've been ordering food for her, and everything, and I found out the other day that she's going to go out on her own. She's on a walker. She's going to get a cab, and I'm very hurt by that because I feel like everything we did was in vain. She's very independent, and she's using that.
All right, let me give you some help right after this, April. You hold on.
For years, all I did was focus on my husband, and my needs were unmet because of his sexual addiction. The counselors focused on him, and all the books I read were about him and how to help him.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography. It might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
This weekend gives me permission to now focus on me.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
I am so thankful to New Life for giving me what I know now is going to be a new life.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas June 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relieved.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and April is dealing with her mom. And Alice, why don't we start with you? What are you thinking here about her and her mom?
Well, actually, Jill has some great information
Jill
to share
has
with you,
some.
April.
Okay, Jill, let's do it.
Well, April, I was listening to everything that you were saying, and I understand that you would be concerned about your mother being in a risk category and all of that, but I'm also wondering, you said your mom has all of her faculties, except she walks with a walker. Why is it that you think your mom needs to listen to you or not make her own choices, or that somehow that means she's ungrateful for the help that you've given her?
The concern is where she lives, they are preferring that the residents don't go out.
Okay. They are
Because of the
preferring.
virus.
Right.
Yes.
They're preferring. Okay. So she's
Yes.
going against some of the mandates, right? So your mom's being a
Yes.
little bit of a rebellious teenager, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's, you got to kind of love someone who's a little bit feisty at her age, right? And the need for independence. That isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as she's not harming herself or others. It sounds like that's something for the facility to take up with her if they have a problem
And
with
they
her
did.
going out. Okay.
and they did, but they can't stop her from going out.
Okay. And so are they calling you?
Sort of, yes. And we've already talked to her about it.
Okay.
But she told us, like she told them, yes.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else got something? How to corral
I
this
think
mom, or do we just let her go?
What Jill is saying here is how much of your concern is about your mother, and how much is it about issues that you have with your mother, you know. And so if you've got some unresolved bitterness or resentment, then, you know, you want her to do whatever it is you want her to do. And whenever she doesn't, it triggers those old wounds there with her. So it's good to take a look at it.
Okay.
It's more concern about her welfare. She is on a walker. She's talking about taking a cab. We're concerned about her health and her concern about her being careful. That's it. I love my mother very much. We've been doing, as I said, we've been ordering groceries for her and everything, and I want the best for her. I love her. Yes, there are things she'll say to me that hurts me, but I get over them. I pray about it, and I'm all right with things. It's just that my mom, in this matter, I am concerned.
Okay. Well, and I'm wondering
about,
if you could
talking to the facility and just asking, how could we work together to help my mom the most?
I did that today, and they said because it is independent living, there's nothing they can do except they called her, they told her, you know, what would be the best policy, and that's that.
And April, if you said, Mom, I'm just so worried about you, could you put off going out on your own for another couple of weeks, and would you let me and my daughter do this for you? Would you let us love on you in this way? How would your mom respond?
She would still show her Taurus independence.
Okay, so April, what about this? What if you met your mom halfway? Mom, I get it. You're cooped up all by yourself, and that is horrible. And I get that you are very independent. Why don't I and, you know, your granddaughter come and pick you up? And, you know, we're germ-free.
They prefer not that.
I know, but it's
they
a
don't
compromise.
Want us to do that.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Well, then your mom's going to be rebellious, and April, it doesn't sound like there's a lot that you can do.
And so that's where you got to surrender.
Yeah,
because you've done your best effort. Yeah. She's declining.
She knows the information. She's willing to take the risk. There are people that look at things differently.
And you just have to love her anyway, you know, and try to support her and not be angry.
Not
as
take
she's,
it personally. Right?
Yeah.
It's think about being her age and losing her independence, right? And even though, you know, we're all sheltering in place, or a majority of people, you know, she's at that age where people lose their independence anyway. So I think it's especially hard for them, and it's probably triggering, because I've talked with some other people in their 80s who have had some similar reactions. Like, you're not going to tell me that I have to stay home.
And April, I wonder if these hurtful things your mom says at times, I think they've been adding up inside of you. And if you're not talking about them, my friend, if you're not sharing that with someone else to grieve the way your mom can be directly hurtful to you, then that will cloud a lot of your other interactions with her, and it will make it hard to surrender when you wish something different for her, like this situation.
And I think really important to remember that how you're treating her is direct training of your daughter of how to treat you when you're in the same situation. So a lot of mercy, grace,
good points,
love, understanding.
Allowing
that's what
her
you want to
dignity.
be showing. Yeah, because that's what you're going to want, and your daughter's going she'll refer back to these times in her treatment of you. If you need some help, you know, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, we have such great people that work every day. They come to work, they want to help you. And then if you can help us, same people, you call them and tell them, hey, I want to help, and then they might get in a conversation with you about some area of your life we could help you with. That's what we're here for. We have been committed to helping folks 31 years, and we want another 31 or so in the future. So you call and help us if you possibly can. And if you struggle, how about Every Man's Battle? Starts tomorrow.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and we're glad that we are. Let's go right back to our phones. And how about this? Crystal, Yakima, Washington. She watches on Facebook. Hi, how are you today? What's going on?
Oh, I'm all right. I got a different question for you today because I'm trying to compartmentalize things as I'm trying to deal with them.
Are you the same Yakima, Washington caller we had before?
Yes, that's trying to get my daughter to be independent.
Yeah.
I have a reason behind wanting her to be independent so bad. I found out about a year ago that my husband was looking at pornography and masturbating, and I confronted him with it, and I went through things, and I threw a bunch of things away, and I caught him after that with a camera that I had purchased after he said that he would not do that, and I caught him with the camera.
Was he taking pictures of your daughter?
No, he was masturbating.
Uh-huh.
After he told me he would not do that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm supposed to trust him, and I'm still having problems trusting him because I haven't seen any involvement at all as far as we talked to the pastor twice.
So why are you supposed to trust him, Crystal?
Yeah, why would you trust him?
Yeah.
Because he says he's not doing it.
As you know, that's just not good enough.
People lie.
It's not good enough.
People who do things they're not supposed to do, they actually lie about them.
I found that to be
We
true.
actually even have 3 copies of Every Man's Battle, which I started reading again the other day, and he won't even read it.
Well, that tells you a little bit there about how committed he is to change, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think so, but I want to trust him.
Well,
right, but it isn't wise to trust him right now, Crystal. Right? You give someone trust to the degree that they're trustworthy, and he's not showing you that he's trustworthy. So you can want all day long, you want him to be a better man, but he's got to go through some things to get there. And right now he's struggling because it's easier to go down the path of addiction. than to do the hard work that it takes to crawl out of it and to have to look at himself and look at his shame and his inadequacy, right?
And Crystal, it would be easier to just go right back into trusting him again. And probably the problems would go underground for a little while, and then they will absolutely resurface, and it will get worse and worse and
you'll
worse
get more and more angry. It'll blow up more and more.
So how do I deal with it? Because I can't leave. I don't want to leave, and I'm not going to leave.
Well, there are some things that you can do, and that is one is you could get some help for yourself. You could start attending meetings, and they would be online right now, with women who struggle with codependency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I can do that if I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean if you know what it is?
Battle. Yeah, I know about every man's
Well, you
battle,
just need
but
the information.
Men, right?
Right. So the
codependence of sex addicts. Put that in your little Google thing.
COSA.
And there it'll be right there. And they'll have online meetings. You can join other folks in the same situation as you. And I think it will help you. You won't feel so alone. It'll be some encouragement to you. It'll be a place where you can talk to people. So that's what I would do.
I made him tell the kids because we live in the same house, and it causes big fights.
Okay. Well,
so now this isn't working for me. This is a problem. The kids now know you have an opportunity now to be the hero dad, right? Or pretty much the hated dad for choosing these behaviors. So what steps are you going to take to make our family whole again? So this isn't the legacy that our kids carry into their relationships.
Right, and I told him I wanted my son to know so that he knows that this is what the result is of this kind of behaviors.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't think, All right, so here's the thing. I just think, Crystal, the best thing in the world for you to do is get some help for yourself, align with some other women who struggle with the same kind of issues. And I think that's going to give you some insight into the smartest, wisest, most helpful things that you can do with him, your kids. I think that's just the next thing there that you could do.
And stay firm, Crystal, in your request that he get structured help and show you proof of what he's doing so that the trust can be rebuilt. I think that you have a tough exterior, but underneath there is a great deal of fear. And I would feel the same if I were in your shoes. This is devastating.
Yeah.
And I heard you say, I can't leave. Well, I don't want to leave. That was a wise insight you have. Connecting with these other women will give you strength and courage that at times you lack on your own, because that's how we get fed spiritually. That's how we're nurtured, is by other women that can understand and can stick with us when we don't have the strength or the courage to do what we need to do next.
That's right. I'm so glad you called, and I will send you a little copy of the Restoration Bible. Anybody, all you have to do if you'd like one is just call us, and we'll give you one free. You can text Steve Social at newlife.com. Needs to be something sophisticated like, hey, send me one of them our Bibles, and put your address there, and we'll get it to you. It's just that simple. I want to mention that Sunday is Mother's Day. And I know that so many moms, this is not a fun time. It's a tough day. Maybe you've just lost a mother that maybe it was a great relationship, maybe not. I remember 7 years of infertility issues on Mother's Day. They were tough. And sometimes it's miscarriages. Other times memories of an abusive or an absent mom. And it's a struggle. And then you got this COVID stuff, and it's really, it can be tough. So let us help you. If you need some help, you call us. We're there for you. Absolutely there for you. Just let us know. We want to do whatever we can. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And it is a great time to do the grieving process over the mom you could have had that you didn't have, the mom that you deserved but wasn't there, and the grief workbook with life recovery. It's good. I am holding it up to the camera there on Facebook Live. Grief, a Bible-centered approach to taking your life back from grief. Right now, let's go to Stacy. Listens on Facebook or watches on Facebook, right out of Los Angeles there. How you doing, Stacy? How's life?
I am doing real good, guys. How you doing? I want
doing
to know
okay. What's going on?
I still have you guys on a watch party, and this is not for NAM Ministries now. This is actually for me. And I'm going to try and zoom through this, guys, as fast as I can. Thank God I have the three amigos here. And it's a personal issue that I have, and I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to listen, because whatever's missing, I'm sure you guys are going to ask me the right question. So I have a son. I actually have a daughter, too. My ex-wife and I were divorced in 2007. In 2007, my son went to college down in California, and I have a daughter. But through the divorce, I got my daughter because I wanted to raise my daughter, because there were some mental health issues, some control issues that I didn't want my daughter to be with. So I actually raised my daughter. Moving forward, there was 2 years after my son went to college, I got him up to where we lived, and I bought him a car. And but in that visit, he did something very disrespectful to my house, and we kind of got into an altercation. That was 2009. Since 2009, we've probably spoken 5 times. I've probably seen him 3 times. You guys helped me through that process. It was back in 2011 that I think Jill helped me with that, and I talked to Dr. Baker up here, and that now I'm fine. I love my son. He's prodigal. I get it, and I love him to death, and I want him to. And I pray for him every day, and this is where it's at. But this is where the trick comes in. He's had a girlfriend for 5.5 years. After he left college, 2011, he moved in with his mom. His mom lives with her sister, and her mom is older, in a 2-bedroom apartment. He has his own bedroom. His grandma has the other bedroom, and his mom and his auntie sleep on the floors in the living room. Now, downstairs from this apartment complex is a woman that's 5 years older than him that he met. She's got 2 kids, and he started a relationship with her. It's been 5 years. Now, my son hasn't worked for 5.5 years. He hasn't had a car. He doesn't work. He just stays in the apartment with his mom. I can't talk to him because he won't listen. Move forward to today. Last week, I got a call, and I got an email. The woman's parents, who she's 37
Hold on.
now.
We'll be right back after this.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
I believed that I could do it on my own. I just believed if I tried hard enough and pulled myself up hard enough by my bootstraps, I could do it. It was a battle that I'd had all my life. I had to get help.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, May 9th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
The single most helpful thing was to realize that I wasn't the weirdest guy on the planet.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. We're talking with Stacy. Stacy, you there?
I am absolutely here.
Okay, Stacy.
I could probably wrap this up.
Stacy, so go ahead and wrap it up in 30 seconds. Then.
Okay, good. So today, let's move to today. Last week, I got a message out of the blue. I actually got a message from the woman's parents reaching out to me, and it was a long, lengthy message. It was distraught. They actually searched me. They found me through my ministry, and they told me this story that they haven't spoken to their grandkids, and they haven't spoken to their daughter because my son won't allow them to talk to them because whatever reason. But it's the same thing that happens to me. I can't talk to him because it's hard for me to talk to him living in the condition that he is, and he won't listen to me. So her daughter doesn't have friends. He's cut off all communications with everybody. So
now we're beyond that 30-second version there. So
okay.
So
good.
What's the question?
How do I handle dealing with this with her parents? They're in Canada, and they're my son's down here with this person.
And Stacy, they asked if you would intervene and you would speak with your son?
Well, they called to just out of confusion.
And
they don't understand what's going on.
Okay. Do you have any communication with your son?
No.
Limited.
Last time I spoke with him was about a year and
what about
maybe 3 months ago.
Stacy, what about his mother? Do you have any communication with her?
Good question. Well, no, not really. And that was the first question I asked the parents. Have you contacted her? And they said no. He blocks them from interactions with her. Now, I will say that my ex-wife mentally isn't quite there. So I probably thought, okay, he doesn't want her to know that. But I'm making excuses, but go ahead.
Okay. Let me try to give you a little bit of help here, okay? Man-to-man help.
By the way, she's listening to this, by the way, too.
Man-to-man help. Here's what I think. You ready?
Yep, gotcha.
I think you ought to get in your car, and I think you ought to drive to the house. That's what I think. I think you ought to talk to his mother. I think you ought to talk to him. You're there, and you tell him, son, it's time that you take a look at things, and it's impacting a lot of people, and it's time to maybe consider a different route for your life, and I want to help you do that. And you just, by being there, you put a new wrinkle in the relationship. You showed up. No more, oh, well, he never calls, I can't call him. You show up. You know where they are. You talk about the phone call. You ask him, why are you discouraging people? Is it because you don't want anybody to mess up what you've got going here, the system? You just
it's
talk
feeling
with
like
him.
a hostage situation almost.
Right. And you talk
right?
with him, and you tell him it's time that you reconsider what you're doing and the pain that it's causing. You don't work. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. I want to do whatever I can to help you see things differently and get you onto a different path. He might slam the door, not want to talk with you, but it's better than doing nothing. And many times, people that slam the door in our faces after we're gone, they think about what we had to say. They think about the fact we made an effort beyond an excuse. We don't use the excuse, well, he won't talk to me or doesn't call me or won't answer the phone. you got in the car, you went there. Huge, huge impact that could have. So that's my advice for you.
And Stacy, too, if his mother is not mentally all there,
right,
and grandma is also there, what about like elder abuse issues? Like, I think you need to put some eyes on the situation to see what's really going on here. Are these grandkids going to, of the girlfriend, are the kids going to school? I mean, obviously right now, no, but what actually is happening? And you can tell a lot more. I mean, I know it's a huge effort, but showing up, I mean, this sounds like this situation has really gotten out of hand. And, you know, people who are abusers, they control and they isolate. That is their MO. More and more. And you don't know if your son has some mental deficiencies as well.
True.
Well, what I would actually think he does, but my issue with what you're saying, I've done that, by the way, Steve, what you're saying. I've actually done that and had the door slammed on me and all that. I get that. But what happens, my concern is the kids, those little kids, those two boys.
How old are
my
they?
Concern. So if they're 8 and like 11. So I go down there and I cause this ruckus. And I'm worried about what the parents that are actually listening to this phone call right now, how they're going to take me going down and maybe being destructive in that situation, because they're really actually concerned about their daughter and their grandkids.
Okay, so have Child Protective Services been called?
Yeah.
You can call anonymously.
Listen, I literally just found out about this like Friday.
Okay.
Well, I think that those people would be extremely grateful that you're willing to get in the car and go there rather than do nothing. I don't think you're going to cause more of a problem. I think you're going to actually produce some change and some evaluation, and you're going to see for yourself what's going on. And if those kids need somebody to do something pretty radical, you're willing to do that. I think it's all
exactly.
But,
you know. When it's up to me, I need to do what I can.
Right. So you can also, even prior to that, Stacy, make a call to Child Protective Services. You don't have to give names, and ask them about the situation. Tell them everything that's going on. And you can do, like I said, anonymously first and get some feedback, and then decide if you're going to make a report or not, based on what they tell you. But it's good to maybe start a paper trail if you don't think that your son is stable and that he's controlling all these women and these kids. That's an unsafe situation. It's like, you know, hear something, say something, right?
It's hard to believe substance use isn't involved. And as much as I don't want to bring that up and bring it in, if it is, and I want you to look for signs of it if you go over there again, and if you already know, it equips you with information that will really help Adult Protective Services or Child Protective Services, because if the kids are exposed to that, that gives them the right to go in and investigate.
It sure does. All right. Well, I'm glad that you called. I hope something we've said is helpful to you. And I know it's tough, but man, sometimes you just have to show up for whatever it's worth.
These
now,
folks
we're
need
just about out of time. Yeah, go ahead.
They need a hero, and Stacy has the chance to come in and be the hero.
That is so true.
Even
sometimes
if you've done
the
it
hero
before.
shows up. No, sometimes the hero shows up there. Sometimes the hero joins us for Every Man's Battle, and it's not too late to join us tomorrow. You sign up today, you get in tomorrow, Every Man's Battle Workshop. It could change everything, the course of history, the course of your future. So I want to encourage you to do that. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out about it. You'll join a bunch of guys anonymously, and you'll leave that day. You'll be so grateful. You will not regret. That's how you spent your day at Every Man's Battle. And if you've got some man that needs it, encourage him to make that phone call. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'll see you at 5 o'clock. We'll be going through those steps, the 12 steps to get rid of the grief, resolve it. Thank you, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Dr. Alice Benton. Appreciate you guys. Call us if you need help. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We want to help you. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.